Been a while. I've just been a camera. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm Andy Durrell. I'm President and CEO of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce. And I'm very pleased to welcome everybody to a truly special event this morning. In the 117-year history of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce, we have never endorsed in a statewide race outside the Ohio Supreme Court races. Today that changes. I'm pleased to announce that the Ohio Chamber of Commerce PAC has, after extensive deliberation, voted to endorse Jon Kasich for governor. You know, our mission statement in part reads that we're supposed to be the state's leading business advocate. And our PAC board felt strongly that we're facing unprecedented challenges in Ohio right now. And that meant that we had to step forward. And we had to step forward in a big way and speak out on what is best for Ohio and our economic well-being. Now, having said that, I'd like to invite our chairman, Jeff Foreman, who's president of the Warren Rupp Company in Mansfield, up to make a couple of remarks. Jeff?
Thank you, Andy. As Andy said, we're very pleased today to announce the Ohio Chamber's PAC's endorsement of Jon Kasich for governor.
I forgot the fancy electronics after everybody fixed it. Sorry.
This endorsement is made for a brighter future for our state. It does not reflect where Ohio has been, but where we must go. Once again, to be a state where business grows, families prosper, and a strong economic environment exists for all. The Ohio Chamber believes Jon represents the leadership we need to retain and attract business to Ohio and to provide jobs for Ohioans. Jon has the right vision to strengthen Ohio's business climate and calm the economic volatility we have all experienced. As we evaluated the candidates, I appreciated the input from the Ohio Chamber's Board of Directors and the Board of the Ohio Chamber PAC. Ohio is a state with promise and an exciting future, and we look forward to working with Jon, Mary Taylor, and their team to make a state a shining example of prosperity in the future. Linda?
Thanks, Jeff. Good morning, and thank you, Jeff. Since Ohio is facing an unprecedented economic situation, the governing board of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce Political Action Committee decided to break with the 117th year's worth of tradition and endorse 3 out of the 5 statewide races. Besides endorsing Jon Kasich for governor, I am pleased to announce that we are also endorsing Senator Jon Husted for Secretary of State and Mike DeWine for Attorney General. Jon Husted has a deep understanding of the business community from his experience working with the Dayton Chamber of Commerce and being a leader in the Ohio House and Senate. We believe he will work tirelessly to ensure that the Secretary of State's office does everything it can to help improve our state's business climate. We are also pleased to endorse another partner for the business community, Mike DeWine. The Attorney General's office can have a paralyzing effect on the economic growth if its powers are not exercised with discretion, balance, and fairness. We believe that Mike has the experience to serve as Ohio's next Attorney General. And now I'd like to introduce our endorsed candidate for the next governor of the state of Ohio, Jon Kasich.
Well, this is a very, very special moment. But in many ways, it's both a somber and an exciting moment, because the Ohio Chamber has broken with precedent. But Ohio is experiencing a turbulence that we've never seen before in the history of our state. This is about the legacy. This is about the foundation. This is about the strength of business. I'm deeply honored, and I am very humbled with the fact that the Chamber has decided that building a team, this is not just about John Kasich, believe me, that building a team of people, that they have enough confidence in us, working together, that we can restore the strength of Ohio, create jobs in Ohio, preserve jobs in Ohio, make families stronger because they have a better economic future, and daddy and mommy have a job. That's what this is all about. Look, we're going to work tirelessly to remove the barriers to job creation. I had an extensive series of meetings, questionnaires, and everything you can imagine with the Chamber. They did not do this lightly. It was an extensive process as far as I was concerned. I came and spoke and took many questions and was able to tell them what I thought the vision should be for being able to move forward. It's not a new vision and it's not complicated. It's simply getting the jobs done here in the state of Ohio. One, modernize this government. Make this government more effective, more efficient, and smaller, and begin to reduce the taxes that have driven businesses and our best and brightest from our state. We cannot afford in Ohio to have a situation where our most successful entrepreneurs, instead of starting a whole new series of businesses that create jobs, hightail it out of the state. And we can't continue to have a situation where our young people get educated in our fine universities and then they move out of state to discover their future. We want their future right here. Reducing taxes will mean that we will be more competitive. We'll be able to keep our jobs, create more jobs. Many people in the Chamber have experienced the difficulty of workers' comp. Again, it is another impediment for businesses being able to be profitable, and most important, to use those profits to modernize their businesses and create more jobs. The regulatory environment remains very, very difficult. Mary Taylor will lead an effort inside of this state to put us in a position of where we can bring common sense back in terms of how we can meet the health and safety requirements, but at the same time fostering economic growth. And we're not going to have state laws that are more restrictive and more penalizing than federal laws. It just doesn't make any sense. We are going to train workers and make this system rational so people know how to access it. And we can train our workers, and we do want to emphasize the training of workers who currently have jobs, upgrade their skills. Whether it's Linda Hondros and the complicated operation that she runs in terms of providing these necessary skills to the people there, she must upgrade her employees every day to meet the challenges of the 21st century. Go up and look at Jeff Gorman's operation. They're very sophisticated, they're complicated. It's processes that take a lot of very good skills, and they need to stay ahead of the ball, and they do. And they invest and they train, and we want to help them to be able to do that. It's all very, very critical. And of course, Jobs Ohio, which is a program to create a not-for-profit group of individuals who will wake up every day and determine how we can strengthen and how we can connect people to business leaders all over the country, and how we can remove barriers, and how we can put the best minds in developing new projects and new programs and technology transfer from our universities and our laboratories. Ohio's best days are ahead. It's morning in Ohio. Ronald Reagan once said it was morning in America. It's morning in Ohio when we win this election and we move forward to implement an aggressive program that uses common sense. Government as a last resort, not as a first resort. Building Ohio from the bottom up, not the top down. I'm also excited to tell you that we are going to follow through with a program where people can get directly to me. We are going to use the technology of the 21st century for people to have unlimited, unrestricted access to the governor, the lieutenant governor, the rest of our team. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to look every week. One of my staffers just said to me, "Don't tell me I have to build another website." Well, you better get working on it, because we want people to be able to have access. And I'm also particularly proud to announce that My wife completed her second marathon and did it in under 4 hours and 10 minutes, wrote 10-minute miles, which I think is fantastic. Have to throw that in. You know, I got, as much as I travel, I got to get some points on the board here with on the home front. In all seriousness, it's easy to duck. It's easy to hide in the weeds. It's just easy not to take a position. I hope the people of this state will recognize how difficult it was for the Ohio Chamber of Commerce to make a decision to take a stand. I'm very proud of the fact that they've endorsed me, but I'm so proud of them because they decided to stand up and stand for something. A few years ago, I wrote a book called Stand for Something. It meant that we just can't be quiet when we see problems. And at times, by taking a position, it gets us into trouble. People get mad when you take a position. I think we know in our country and in our state, it is really important for Americans to be able to stand up and take a position, even at times when it's difficult. My wife and I try to teach our daughters that every day. You know, and so I'm so proud of them, and I'm so pleased and so gratified that they have the confidence to believe that working together, and believe me, they will be integrally involved in terms of building this next generation of jobs here in the state of Ohio. Jeff and Linda and Andy, thank you. But the real work begins here on November 3rd when this election is over. And I think you've played now an important role in making sure that we are successful on November 2nd.
Said, you know, this is not a reflection of where the last 4 years have been. We're trying to look ahead to where the next 4 years need to lead us. And that was really the focus of our discussions. This isn't a discussion about where the current president has been or where some of the policies have been, whether we agreed or disagreed on things. We're trying to look ahead, and that's what this is about, and that's what this statement is about. Yes.
Was there a formal vote taken on the PAC?
Yes, there was.
Could you tell us what it was?
I will just tell you it was a unanimous decision.
Why did you not decide to endorse in the auditor and the treasurer's race as well?
We're trying to walk before we run, to be frank. I think these three offices are the ones that our membership said clearly impact the business community on a day in and day out basis. And these are the folks that we most directly work with. The other races, are they important? Absolutely. But I think we as an organization said, you know, we'd have to do a heck of a lot more homework to get there in terms of looking at the other two races. So these are the ones that, like I say, we can point to and say we work with these offices day in and day out. There's a lot of policy that goes on that impacts the business community day in and day out, and that's where we need to focus this time around. First time around, you try and take what's most important, and that doesn't mean we won't do the other races down the road or something. Doesn't mean that we'll endorse down the road again either. We have left those options open. This was just one time that we felt we had to step forward and say something on these particular three races.
Did you get any
I enjoy that question.
Did you get any specifics from either candidate on what they're going to do with this big shortfall?
If specifics, the question is somebody outlined, here's where tax rates are going to be, or here's new revenue sources, or revenue sources we're going to do without. Absolutely not. Again, I think it was the bigger picture in the context of what is the focus going to be. And I think what we've heard from John over and over again that resonated with our folks is we need to look at the business climate. And there still needs to be changes done to help us create jobs in this state. And I really think that's what has resonated. And so did we see some numbers or something that have been kept from everybody else? Absolutely not. There was a bigger picture here to look at.